Hey there, welcome to a new episode of the Community Show. On this week's show, we will begin with What's Going On, news and events from Floyd and Wythe Counties, sponsored by the Floyd Press and the Wytheville Enterprise. And then we will move on to this week's sports action. And then finally, on this week's Something to Chat About, we will be discussing these Robo Calls that have been happening to people's cell phones and house phones and some of the calling features that you can have with your Citizens plan. So stay tuned and we'll be right back after this. And now for this week's What's Going On, beginning with Wytheville news, sponsored by the Wytheville Enterprise. Substandard work in refinishing the gymnasium and aerobics room floors at the Wytheville Meeting Center has resulted in rebidding for the project. A new contract will be awarded for the job to be done this spring. According to Wytheville Town Manager Wayne Sutherland, Home and Commercial Cleaning and Property Maintenance submitted a bid of $12,500 to do the floors of 2 multi-purpose rooms, 2 racquetball courts, the gymnasium, and aerobics room. The company in turn hired a subcontractor for the work, which included light sanding of the floors and sealing them with a glossy finish. The contractor, Sutherland said, received only $4,125. The other floors will be rebid with work, tentatively done in May or June. Next, the bottom floor of Hampton Inn at Fort Chiwell sustained extensive water damage Thursday afternoon after a frozen water line broke in a room behind the laundry room. The hotel is located at 199 Fort Chiwell Road across from the BP station. According to David Morris of the Max Meadows Volunteer Fire Department, 7 firefighters and 6 trucks responded to the call at 12:06 p.m. He reported a water line to the sprinkler system had frozen and burst, which set off the fire alarm. The lower floor filled with water from the sprinkler system, but there were no injuries in this. Moving on, it's business as usual at Gerda's House of Music and the Max Meadows Ruritan Club bingo game this weekend after county officials temporarily halted operations earlier this week. The move surprised the owner of the business and upset patrons. The county said the buildings did not comply with the state building code. Owner David Blair said he did not know the county was looking at his buildings until his friend, who works for the county, called to tell him about the notices county officials put on the front door of Blair's home. Blair said that the notices were dated Monday, January 27th, and he found them Tuesday morning. He immediately went to the county officials' building to talk with county supervisors who were just getting out of a meeting. He said that county officials agreed to meet with him later that afternoon to discuss the situation. However, before that meeting took place, the county sent out a press release saying the owner of Gerda's and the bingo hall was violating the state building code and that he was to cease operations immediately. The release did not name Blair as the owner. Family Dollar is coming to Rural Retreat. Plans are in the preliminary stages, however, a site has been selected. According to town officials, the store will be located on North Main Street where the former Virginia Home Health and Hospice facility is, between Gino Road and Hilltop Auto Sales. The buildings on the property will be demolished to accommodate the construction. Next, a 70-year-old Max Meadows man must register as a sex offender after being convicted this week of taking indecent liberties with a minor. Gordon Leon Wilson entered an Alford plea on Thursday in Wythe County Circuit Court to the felony charge that carries a maximum punishment of 10 years in prison. Although it has the same outcomes as the guilty plea, an Alford plea allows a defendant to maintain his innocence while acknowledging that the Commonwealth likely has enough evidence for conviction. According to court records, the February 21, 2003 charge involved a then 12-year-old child identified only by initials. As part of a plea agreement, the Commonwealth dropped additional charges of aggravated sexual battery, sodomy, and taking indecent liberties with a minor. Wilson was given a 3-month jail sentence, which will serve on weekends beginning February 5th. He will also be on supervised probation for 4 years, during which time he must complete any sex offender treatment ordered by the probation office and must abide by the agency's rules for contact with minors. Moving on, a Tennessee man is accused of fleeing a Wythe County interstate crash in August Before being located the next morning, he didn't show up in court on Thursday, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Facing a felony hit-and-run charge, 41-year-old Timothy Rife of Bristol was scheduled for trial, but his attorney told the court on Thursday afternoon that he had called that morning and said that he was now living in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and couldn't make it because of the snow. The Commonwealth had all of its witnesses in court on Thursday, but they were excused. A Wytheville man will spend nearly 5 years in prison after being convicted of 5 felony charges on Thursday. James Douglas Ryan pleaded guilty to charges of manufacturing meth, grand larceny, and 3 counts of drug distribution. According to a summary of the evidence against him, Ryan stole electronics from a Speedwell residence, admitted to making meth, and sold morphine and meth in purchases monitored by the police. As part of a plea agreement, Ryan will be on supervised probation for 5 years after his release, during which time he'll waive his Fourth Amendment protections against police searches. He was also ordered to make restitution to his victim and will have his driver's license suspended for 2 years. Additional charges of conspiring to make meth, burglary, and drug possession were dropped by the prosecution. A Wytheville woman who got jail time on Thursday for violating her probation is in more trouble after trying to escape from police. Sheriff Doug King said the 33-year-old Suzette D. Ramsey fled out a side door of the sheriff's office at approximately 4 p.m. after being brought downstairs from Wythe County Circuit Court, where she was sentenced to a year in jail. An officer chased Ramsey into Elizabeth Brown Memorial Park and caught her after about 30 seconds, King said. Earlier on Thursday, Ramsey, who was free while awaiting trial, pleaded guilty to probation violations that included an additional conviction for petite larceny and smoking marijuana. Ramsey was initially placed on probation after being convicted in March 2010 of conspiring to manufacturing drugs and felony child endangerment, according to court records. Thursday's probation violation conviction was her second one in the 2010 case. King said that she would be charged with attempted escape, which is a felony. And now moving on to Floyd news, sponsored by the Floyd Press. The American Red Cross Bloodmobile will be coming to Floyd United Methodist Church this Friday, February 7th from 11 to 5. Red Cross officials say due to severe weather and resulting in the cancellation of hundreds of blood drives nationwide, the blood supply is very low, and there is an urgent need for several blood types. So if you can donate blood, please go to theamericanredcross.org to find out how you can and see if there is a blood drive coming to you if you cannot make it to the February 7th one in Floyd. Moving on, a fundraiser for Plenty and other local food banks is scheduled for Saturday, March 15th at the Floyd Eco Village. A film, Food Stamped, will be shown, and the doors will open at 6 p.m. with refreshments provided. Cost is $25 per person, or you can bring a friend for $40. Tickets are available at Plenty and participating food pantries. Moving on, the Floyd County Merchants and Businessmen's Association is working on plans for the July 4th celebration to be held at the high school baseball field. This year, the event will begin at 5:30 p.m. and vendors are welcome. Please contact Susan Leonard, coordinator, at 789-7210 for more information. Next, Citizens is still collecting items for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors food drive until February 28th. Remember that Citizens will match an item for item as well as donate $1 for each item. Stop by Citizens' main office to find out more information or to drop off food items. On February 14th and 15th, Valentine's Day weekend, you can go to Chateau Morset for puppy love, lunch, and dinner. Fall in love with your Valentine again while candles flicker atop white tablecloths and a softly crackling fireplace lends its smoky scent to the crisp winter air. Spend the most romantic day of the year enjoying a sensual sensation of wine, soft music, magical ambiance, and chef's own puppy love multi-course menu. The cost is $100 per couples, exclusive of wine, tax, and gratuity. Puppy love menu is available from 11 to 9 on Friday and 11 to 8 on Saturday. Reservations are required. Read more to see Chef Sherling's special menu on Chateau Morset's website. And finally, Citizens will be hosting a 100-year centennial celebration on February 28th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Come out and enjoy food, games, prizes, demos, and videos, and join us as we celebrate the last 100 years, as we have a couple different celebrations during this day. And that is all for this week's What's Going On. Stay tuned. Up next, we'll have this week's Sports Action.
Bank of Floyd has been the bank thousands of Virginia families trust to manage their personal finances and grow their businesses.
We understand that we need to earn our customers' business every time, and to do that, we need to know them.
We focus on individual customer solutions. We're more than just your community bank, we're your neighbors.
Bank of Floyd has our best interest, and I really appreciate that.
Bank of Floyd, neighbors helping neighbors. That's what we do best. Experience the difference.
Gardner Funeral Home has been a family-owned and operated business since 1979. In the past 34 years, we have updated and expanded our facilities to meet the needs of the families we serve. We offer many arrangement options to help you create a funeral or memorial service that honors the memory of your loved one. This is Bobby Gardner, and I consider it a privilege to serve the people of Floyd County.
And now for this week's sports action, beginning with basketball. For Floyd County, the girls will play at home versus Glenver in a pink night on Thursday, February 6th, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. And then on Friday, February 7th, the boys will be traveling to Glenver to play at 7 o'clock p.m., and the girls will be traveling to Bishop McGuinness in North Carolina to play at 7:30 p.m. And then on Saturday, February 8th, the boys will be participating in the Stanley Memorial Shootout at the Salem Civic Center. They will be playing at 12 o'clock p.m. versus Salem. You may purchase tickets at the Salem Civic Center box office or through Ticketmaster.com. Tickets will be sold in advance and at the day of. Please call 540-375-3004 for all questions. And then on Monday, February 10th, the girls will have a home game versus Eastern Montgomery at 7 o'clock p.m. and the boys will be traveling to Bland to play at 7:15 p.m. And then on Wednesday, February 12th, the boys will have a home game against Radford beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. And now moving on to Fort Chiwell basketball. On Friday, February 7th, the boys and girls will have a senior quad night versus Bland. The girls will be playing at 7 o'clock p.m. and the boys will be playing at 8:15 p.m. And then on Monday, February 10th, the boys and girls will be traveling to George Wythe to play at 6 o'clock p.m. for the girls, and the boys will follow at 7:15 p.m. And then on Tuesday, February 11th, the girls will have a home game versus Glade Spring at 7:15 p.m. This is a rescheduled game from January. The boys will be traveling to Grayson County to take on them at 7:30 p.m. And then on Wednesday, February 12th, the boys will have a home game versus Galax at 7:15 p.m. And the girls will be traveling to Graham at 7:30 p.m. And then finally for George Wythe basketball. On Friday, February 7th, the boys and girls will have a quad at Chilhowie High School. The girls will be playing at 6 o'clock p.m. and the boys following at 7:30. And then on Monday, February 10th, the boys and girls will have a home game versus Fort Chiwell. The girls will be playing at 6 o'clock p.m. and the boys will be playing at 7:15 p.m. And now for indoor track. For Floyd County High School on Saturday, February 8th, the boys and girls varsity track teams will be competing in a tournament at Virginia High School in Bristol beginning at 12 o'clock p.m. And then moving on to wrestling. The Floyd County High School wrestling team will be competing in the conference tournament, Conference 38, at Martinsville on Saturday, February 8th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. And then Fort Chiwell and George Wythe will both be competing on Thursday, February 6th, in a conference tournament at Rural Retreat High School beginning at 3 o'clock p.m. And now moving on to varsity swimming. The George Wythe varsity swim teams will be competing in a conference tournament at Virginia High School on Saturday, February 8th, with a time that is yet to be determined. And that is all for this week's sports action. Stay tuned. Up next, we will have this week's Something to Chat About.
This is Bud Foster speaking for Harveys. Harveys Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Floyd has been a great addition to the Harveys automotive family. There's a great line of cars and trucks. You get friendly, no pressure attention, and excellent service. They have a wide selection of new Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge products, as well as lots of used vehicles at truly fantastic prices. And the only thing better than the drive out to Floyd is the drive home. Visit Harveys Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge in Floyd, Virginia.
Floyd Express Market at 609 East Main Street in Floyd is your local convenience store serving Floyd County since 1989. They offer easy access to both gas and diesel pumps and is a Virginia lottery retailer. Their deli, open daily, specializes in barbecue sandwiches, hot dogs, and homemade biscuits with ham, sausage, tenderloin, steak, chicken, and gravy. Floyd Express Market is open Sunday through Thursday, 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 5:30 a.m. to midnight.
And welcome to this week's Something to Chat About. Our first guest today is Sandy Huff, who is a sales consultant here at Citizens, and we're going to be talking about these Robo Calls that people are definitely hearing about. So thank you, Sandy, for being here on the Community Show.
Thank you. Glad you invited me this morning, Casey.
And I know that you deal with phone service every day at Citizens, and I'm sure you've taken a number of calls regarding these Robo Calls and the recent scam calls. Can you tell us some calling features that may help our viewers?
Yes, I can discuss some calling features with you. We do have 2 or 3 available that would help this issue, and depending on what you may already have on your phone, the cost may not be that much more or about the same.
Right.
We have anonymous call rejection, which will block any unidentified caller.
Okay.
They're instructed that you do not accept unidentified callers, and they'll have to just hang up. The call won't go through unless they call back and present their number.
Okay.
We do have a telemarketing basic and an advanced one. A telemarketing basic will block all incoming calls, and they're instructed that you don't accept telemarketer calls. They'll have to press 1 before the call will go through.
Okay.
The telemarketing advanced works with a caller ID, so you'd have to have caller ID for that one, but it only blocks unidentified callers. So then they get that announcement, and they'll have to press 1 before they can go through. And a lot of the telemarketers, it's only going to ring one time, or they're not going to display their number.
Right. Right. And I know that's with the robocalls. Is this one of the phone scams that's happening right now is people are calling one time and then hanging up, not leaving a voicemail.
Yes. So this will definitely catch them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where can people find out about these calling features?
Okay, they can contact us at Citizens by dialing 745-2111, or you can go to your local directory, the 2013, and they have all of our calling features starting on page 18 that tells all about them, and just call one of the Citizen sales representatives, and we'd be happy to help you.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And so like she said, look in your phone book or call Citizens today to find out how you can get these great calling features and to stop these robocalls from happening.